it's a Brian car, so let's check out what's under the hood. Oh, what a shocker! Oh my God, even worse! Why is that not attached? It's not attached. Jameson, you have some history building Toyotas.
Yeah, I built a couple.
What? What are you making fun of me for?
We're not making fun of you yet. So, Brian, tell us about this. What do you got?
So this is, I don't even know what year. Toyota Corolla, better known as the AE86.
Corolla? So this isn't Hertz's car though. Yeah, it's a lot different.
With the 11 front, his is like really, really nice. But this one is really, really original.
And it's a trunk or a hatch or
It's just words, boy.
It's a coupe, which is definitely the not as desired model, but I actually kind of like how the coupes look more, and I like it because they look really weird.
Did it come on these big of a tire?
No, it looks like a rally car with that big ass tire.
Yeah, lean on that, Gary. He decided not to. He was all sorts of torn up about it.
Just embrace it.
What?
This
It's blue?
Yeah, it's blue interior.
That's pretty sick, actually.
I just want to know what the definition of clean is to most people. What about that? And that? And all the paint missing?
Look at this.
No, I have a higher standard for used cars.
I know you do. GT3s. RSs, oh, my bad.
You only get there because you make good decisions on the way, right?
This lunch table ass he got here.
This is like grandma's kitchen cabinet.
No, that's not factory. Is this not original?
Wow.
Is this stock?
It's actually factory. This is like a super base model, and it comes just like that.
It's so base you can't afford the material. This is you have the faux material. Let's get into the next thing. Of course, it's a Brian car, so let's check out what's under the hood.
The hood.
Oh, what a shocker! Oh my God, even worse! Why is that not attached? It's not attached.
This place is in chaos.
So the simple thing would be to do 4AG, right? That's like the classic engine for this. It's so weird for me to have a Japanese car. It's not that I don't like Japanese cars, I just don't fit in them.
Tell us already, you're procrastinating.
It needs the heart of a German car.
Huh?
My guess is air-cooled, flat six, turbo,
Audi V10.
oh,
DCT swap. I know you do. I know.
Please tell me it's a 16 valve.
Here we go, guys.
Instant torque.
What is this? What is this? Is this a Subaru engine?
3.2 liter VR6.
It got a chain.
this is an R32 motor?
R32 engine.
R32 what?
The real R32, the Volkswagen.
Get your hands off me.
I don't have to listen to garbage like that coming from you.
All right, now that the gaggle of non-believers are gone, I'm gonna walk you through what I'm actually gonna do. This right here is a 24 valve, 3.2 liter VR6, best known as the R32 engine. When I say R32, I mean a Volkswagen Golf R32. VR, for those of you who don't know, basically means a narrow angle V6. 3 cylinders kind of staggered on this side, 3 cylinders staggered on this side. What it does is create a rather small footprint for inline 6 style setup or V6, right? Comparison, here's an RB versus, problem is, this was meant for front wheel drive cars or all wheel drive cars. This thing is supposed to be a transverse engine, right? Which means it's supposed to sit in the vehicle this way. Instead, it's gonna sit in the vehicle this way. And unfortunately, they don't make transmissions for that. Straight from the land of Poland, we have this bell house adapter from Racing Custom Parts. This converts a 24 valve VR to a BMW E96 speed, which I think is kind of a big transmission. We'll see if we can squeeze it into this puppy. They also make a bunch of other nice stuff like valve covers. They also make this flywheel adapter right here, which you can see has the starter ring outside and then sort of offsets it for the bell housing size. So this will make me be able to put this thing in here longitudinally with a 6-speed behind it. Reason I went with the VR is because NA, this thing makes like 200, I don't know, 230, 250 horse. Add some cams, it's gonna be a little spicier, maybe some open headers, you know, it keeps getting a little bit better. A little bit of software, gets a little better from there. And then maybe one day I throw some ITBs on here and all of a sudden we're close to 300 horsepower. And 300 horsepower, kind of simple-ish. Yeah, because my plan for this, I don't want to call it a street car because it's a bit more than a street car, but I want to keep it really simple. Like I'll probably put a roll bar in it, but I'm not going to cage it. I'm going to leave most of the interior in. The idea is that this would be the type of car that you could drive to an event, have fun, and drive home. This is to prove that you can build a kind of simple car.
Simple. No, it's not so simple. It's not so simple. Shh.
This is the oil pan for the stock unit. It's extremely deep. Yes, you could cut it, but this is the factory pump. And from my understanding, this right here is your pressure regulator for the oil pressure. So even if you snipped it, you still have a couple inches, which makes me think, because of how tall this is, you're gonna wanna go with a dry sump setup. Is it overkill? Yeah, but it's also a Gymkhana car. The chance of me blowing this engine will be from sloshing oil around. That's gonna be a place to potentially starve this bastard. Dry sump, a little extra level of precaution. And then there's all these boxes. I will be building some Motegi 2-piece wheels. Motegi has a new 2-piece wheel division. Check out what they look like on Mark's car. They look sick. This is a Caro Profile XL. It's kind of a basic style race seat. This actually was one of Ken's seats out of one of his cars, but it was actually too big for him, so he gave it to me. So yeah, so this seat's kind of special to me because, you know, connection with Ken, so I figured it made sense for it to put in here. I will probably end up matching the interior though. Bunch of stuff from the folks over at Techno Toy Tuning, or T3. This is like everything I need, suspension wise, stuff for the rear end. It's kind of a bit of everything. So like this right here is Gymkhana car in a box or multiple boxes. Plan is, does the engine fit? If it does, what is it gonna take to get it to properly fit? Does the transmission fit? But I haven't found one yet. Do I fit? That's another important one. And then sorting out the suspension. And then from there, like I said, there's a couple little things I'll need to get put together. But once the engine and trans are sorted, and the rear end and the wiring and the interior and okay, there's a bit to do. There's a bit to do. Let's see if this fits.
Let's take this moment to remind everybody, if this doesn't get done in time for Gymkhana GRiD, what happens?
Drive the McCurr XR4 Ti in competition as it sits.
Go the other way.
That works for all of us.
So what's the first step? First step
is to see if it even fits.
You gotta see if it fits. So I say pull the oil pan off, swing her in, and see. Hey, Jameson. Good luck.
This is where it leads.
It separated itself, look at that.
Is this the first VR6 swap 86?
Might be a reason why no one's ever done it before.
I mean, not in any Volkswagen.
Yeah,
Let's go. Nice and easy, Ron.
Ooh, that's nice.
That's pretty.
It's going right in, folks. I think besides the missing spark plug, like this thing's pretty in.
Closing time.
Look at where the trans is supposed to go.
Just here.
So we need the pan and the trans.
They make a steel pan for this.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just gonna order the steel pan, and then we can just
Use
cut the
the
steel pan apart and then make it from there.
Okay.
That way we've got the flanging and everything like that. So I think there was like a Eurowise makes a steel pan, so we'll get it from them. Does the front clips on these come out?
Yeah. It all bowl here.
Are there any disadvantages of putting this engine in this car?
Yeah, no one's ever done it before, and yeah. Fully dressed VR, it was only 65 pounds heavier than the 4H.
And while I would say that would throw off the balance because, you know, right now where you have it, pretty much cylinder 5 is where your strut tower is, but you're going to be sitting so far back.
I don't think
that you
I'm
offset.
not listening to what Vinny's saying. I'm gonna put the shit as close to the firewall as I can.
You're going to go Daigo Saito style?
I'll just put
do
the
a
shit
front
in the
mid-engine?
passenger seat.
Yeah.
I like it.
And you'll be sitting in the back seat, so it'll be perfect.
Yeah, I'm gonna already be. But the next thing we're gonna do today is see if I actually will fit in the car, because right now I don't.
Get in there.
So this part's a little bit of a problem.
So big.
This would be.
You should definitely try taking this seat out and just sitting in the back seat.
I only heard him take out 3. I think one was missing.
Oh, you fit perfect.
I mean. That almost works.
Yeah.
Oh, you in there now?
Yo, perfect.
Dude,
Move the seat, move the steering wheel.
Dude, you got like 6 inches above your head.
Yeah, it's enough for a helmet. Good to go.
you're good.
This is gonna happen.
I mean, we'll have to lift it up like an inch, but for an inch or two, but that'll be fine.
Scotto fitment great. VR6 fitment questionable.
This project question.
There's no way that he's pulling out of the VR6 swap now. If it's even remotely close to working.
close, we're gonna make it work.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it work.
It could be worse.
Oh yeah. I was actually afraid it wasn't gonna fit.
You fit like good in here now.
Like we're pretty far back. I feel like this mount isn't even worthwhile using because it tucks down here. So we just
you
make
seeing-
something off of this.
Foot placement is right now and everything
Yeah,
leg wise. You're
that's
good.
So sick.
As a man who plays musical seats all the time, these are questions I ask.
Yeah.
Because I'm always changing seats out my car. As a tall guy, I like to sit low and see like this. So like somebody Jameson's height can just get in the car and be okay.
All right, so job one is to make myself fit, right, Jolly?
The population of New York is just creatures.
Oh, I've seen this one. Watch again. Yo, shout out to the dudes from New York is a nationality. One of my favorite follows. Oh, God. Anyway, so I need to build out these seat brackets to try to fit that seat in here. And to do that, it needs to be custom because I could just order a set of 86 mounts, but I don't fit in regular seats, let alone an A86. So I harvested this from Shit Car. We haven't seen Shit Car in a while. It's looking a little different.
Sometimes off-road is not a good idea.
Anyway, so I pulled these out of Shit Car and I'm gonna try to cut these up and make a modified seat bracket that puts me a good like 6 or 8 inches further back. Right, Jolly?
You about to spend the next 7 hours making brackets?
Yeah.
It's almost 6. You about to start on your bracket right now?
Yeah, let's get after brackets. You out? I'm just gonna use this to get me started. A bunch of people make seat brackets for the 86. I'm not most people. I'm 6'8".
You think you're so fucking cool, don't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna cut off all the tabs real quickly and then place this sort of in the car. All the ones I've seen that are like factory, it would mount like this, right? So obviously there'll be a piece that goes down and mounts here and a piece that mounts here, right? So these tabs are obviously for the 36, but I need this to sit that far back, maybe farther. So I'm gonna build a hanger that hangs over to grab that and then mounts off of these ones here. Yeah, let's clean this all up and position it. Probably mount the seat to this, get the seat in here, kind of figure out where that is, and then mount from there. We may need to create secondary mounts that go into the floor here, but we can do that once everything else is sorted and then build new tabs that kind of go like that, and then mount them through the floor, weld plates into the floor. So I'm thinking about moving this bad boy back somewhere in this realm here, which is, well, I can actually tell you exactly. It's about 5 inches back from where an aftermarket plate would normally be mounted. So something like this. I'm gonna use this piece of stock to just mock up about where I think this should be. I'm gonna put a kink in here. So there, let's put a bend there to do that. And then we'll come back and measure the next bend. And then I'll build a new strap. And then I'm gonna use the factory mounting holes here. And those will just run through that. I'll have to sort of clearance the mounts to make that work. Don't wanna bend it too much to start. All right, that's gonna require a bit more of a bend. Since this is not an exact science, make life a little easier. Just do it in the vise right here. This is just our template. So this is gonna be at that angle, 5 inches off. Give it a few more whacks. Well, there we go. It works. I gotta recreate one like that and then make one for this side. This side, as you can see, is not the same general concept. I think I'm gonna, I don't know. I'm trying to decide if I should. I think I'm gonna mock this one up, drill the holes there and there, mock that one up, and then once that's all in there, I'll tack that one in. Once that's all there, then I'll make the last one. Because my fear is I make the last one now and then I put it all together and it binds. Because that way I can sort of make the last one to fit perfectly at the end. Isn't it fun being tall and not being able to use off the shelf stuff? Yeah. I've had zero use for being tall. Pretty much since I met my wife. That's about all it's good for, unless you play basketball or you need things off top shelf. So since it's going as far as it is, I decided to go with a thicker piece of flat stock. So I'm gonna make my measurements, throw it into this handy dandy brake right here, and yeah. Voila. All right, so that's the first one. As you can see, I kind of overcut it because I have a little more room to cut it down. Put the template in here just so I can get the angle perfect. So a little bit more to bend right now. So there's our piece. Looks like it might still need a bit more of a bend right there, but I'm gonna go and size it up real quick. This actually looks kind of perfect. That's looks really good. So now I'm gonna do a bunch of measurement. I'm gonna put some holes in here, find the factory positions, and then tack this up. All right, that's about right. So because the floor is so unlevel, I can't really tell if some of these mounts are actually at the same height. You've got this bump here for the catalytic converter, the whole thing kind of slopes up. What I'm gonna do is I just put this bar across the doors because the doors I know are at least supposed to be level. I'm going to measure down if we're at the same height. That one is lower. All right, so I'll build a spacer on that side. All right. I'm pretty happy with where this currently sits. I've got this actually spaced out on that side for the right height. It looks pretty even, or even enough for what I need it to be. Yeah, so anyway, right now I'm just going to clean up this bracket so I can weld this bracket, get that in place, and then I'll finish up that last one, doing the same thing that we did here, but everything else will already be sort of square in there. Yeah, Vinny in his first episode basically got a running car together. I mean, he kind of cheated, but he did it. I kind of put an engine in, kind of thinks it might fit, and now I'm still barely halfway through putting a seat in. I just do things a lot slower. And I actually fit an AE86, which is something I never thought I would have. Still looks lined up, but I'm gonna go double check anyway. All right, that looks good. Let's head back and burn this thing in on the miller. Well, not my best work, but it'll work for now. Pretty happy how that all sits and how that all looks and fits. Putting this in here now, where it needs to be, I'm definitely gonna have to notch the back. I'll take care of that real quick before I lock down that side. All right, so I snipped the back of this off. I might reinforce it, I might not. That lines up nice now. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit more. It's a little unorthodox. It's kind of sitting at a crazy angle, but it takes a lot to make a 6'8" man fit into a small ass car. All right, here we are, the moment of truth. After fabricating garbage by myself. The seat's in. I still have a few things to finish up. Like I still do owe that additional piece, but I need to drill a hole for that. But pretty much this is where it sits. And as long as I get in it right now and it's okay, I think I'm gonna call it quits and then just finish up painting this and putting that last piece on tomorrow. I'm a little worried it's a bit more reclined just looking at it than I like. I might be able to come down one here and just basically sit it on here. Looks better. Oh, yeah. Amazing what an inch does.
Very impressive.
All right, I am properly excited. I tried this out, it fits. It's actually a pretty good angle, all things considered. It looks like it's sitting kind of really weird, but this way I can put the seat almost on the floor. There's about a 1/4 inch of space there. Sitting as low as I can right there. Yep, there it is. So you get a giant to fit into a AE86. It's funny because it's like not that much further back than the stock seat. I mean, I guess it's like 8 inches back. The butt sits like 5 or 6 inches lower. That's all it took. So anyway, I now fit. I'll get the steering wheel sorted soon. Get that all situated. I still gotta change my pedals out, but this part's done. And that part was mucho important. So, all right. Now cut to me finishing this in a montage where it all looks great. Yeah. Next episode. Which I think, by the way, is Ron's car.
Mitsubishi headquarters looks like a Sears. There's just no one there.
That's the kind of car brand I'm attracted to. Lancia makes one car today. Also have one of those.
Single car makes.
I don't know
That's
what
your
it is.
thing.
I'm an OEM murderer.